Hey everybody, welcome back. I know I've said this. I think I've said this for the last 3 or 4 videos, but this really will be the last episode on the Bout Du Monde. So sorry for misleading you, but we got just a couple more things to wrap up. As I said in the last episode, we will be selling the bales and the silage in the silage pit to the next farmer that's taken over the farm. So he's giving us $10,000 for the silage, which is, I actually calculated it up. It's a little bit below 50% of market value, but we're giving it a discount since it's already there. And yeah, we're just closing up the barn doors. Maybe we'll turn off the light there and let's head on in here and finish closing up the barn, and then we will be on our way. There's a lot of poop that I didn't clean up at the very end. I kind of got lazy with the poop in the dirt there for the cows. Does that not close all the way? Oh boy. Well, we'll have to disclose that in the. Or maybe we should just not tell them about that because the new owner might want us to fix that, and we are already moving, so we'll just pretend that we didn't see that. I would never do that in real life, by the way. I bought and sold many houses in moving around the country in the Navy and California and now Texas, but why did these doors never close? Yeah, we disclose even. I disclosed everything. And case in point, why? If I can close this stupid door. Okay, closed door. I'm pressing it. I guess you just have to press and hold it for a long time before it actually actuates. Anyway. I was honest when I joined the Navy. My recruiter didn't want me to tell them that my left knee was dislocated because it might mean that I wouldn't join, and it might mean that I didn't get in, and it also meant a lot more paperwork for him. But anyway, that's a story for another day. We'll talk more about that in the Navy, and I'll include a little bit of my experience in the Navy while we're driving around the West Coast, and I'll even share my recruiter lied to me story, which every sailor or person in the armed forces just about has a my recruiter lied to me story. So stay tuned for the West Coast. I will be sharing that then. But for now, let's take this into the store. This is the last time we'll ever see Le Bout Du Monde. Okay, let's just look at our little house there for a little bit. That was the little homestead that we stayed in. It was whoops. Yeah, I remember that rock. Yeah, remember that rock, everybody? That was where, I forget which tractor it was, but we had a fun little adventure with the bale trailer there, trying to go up there. And then, of course, that hill was one of the 2 famous milk trailer incident hills, as well as up here we have the milk trailer incident hill. Milk trailer hill, that's what this one should be called. Let's hold on. Let's get out and put on the tarp. Make it look a little bit prettier there. All right. So over on the left, that was actually that was probably my favorite spot. That's probably my favorite field. You know what? Let's just keep traffic waiting. Well, there's no traffic waiting yet, but let's climb up there. This is one of my favorite views in the entire map. Every time you farm this field, you come up here over the hill and you just get such a pretty view of the mountains in the distance there and the trees and, the other field. And it's not quite as good as the West Coast, but it gives you a very good feeling of the map. It's, this map isn't made as much for views. It's made to feel cozy and, I don't know, cozy and safe or whatever, however you want to feel. But I felt cozy was the best word for this map. If I could only have one word to sum it up. Oh, wow. And yeah, all of a sudden, oh, wow. Just out of the blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. Sorry, guys. There wasn't anybody there, and it's going to rain. Well, this is kind of like foreshadowing or something. It's going to rain right as we're leaving this map. Can you believe that? Look, the skies are getting darker. It's going to start pouring right as we drive off this map. That's kind of like a fun way to set the mood there. Oh, it's getting dark. It's going to rain any second now. All right, well, anyway. If you do ever play this map and you have problems with milk, if you have the milk cell mod, the stop milk sale mod. Remember, the best way to sell milk if you're pulling a heavy trailer is not this route. You want to go left through the trees, and then you can turn, what is that? You turn in through field 10, and you take, well, and there's the rain. You turn in through field 10, I think it's 10. Yeah, it's 10, and then exit through the ETA, and that helps you avoid the steepest of hills. And then, of course, you only have the problem trying to deliver the milk through the town, but that's yeah, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, we're finishing up one last little drive. Goodbye, Le Bout Du Monde. Okay, well, we'll come by one more time, but okay. And there we go. And we're going to sell this trailer, and then we will get our final total for Le Bout Du Monde for what we're bringing over to the West Coast. All right. There is Bestie all ready to go on our trailer. And, oh, yeah, that's right. We didn't sell Evelyn. I forgot I drove Evelyn over here. So we'll have to sell Evelyn. Or do we want to see if we can take Evelyn with us? No. We're not going to take Evelyn because it's just... We already have a small tractor over there, and Evelyn can't pull a bale trailer, you know, but that other tractor could actually pull a bale trailer out into the field, and Evelyn could not. So let's make sure. Do we have any other? Yep, that's it. Oh, we can also sell that because we have already bought one of those over on the West Coast, so now we just need to sell our trailer, and then we have our West Coast total. Whoops. Silly me. Silly. There we go. Okay, so you know what? Every time I turn the steering wheel, my headphones wire gets caught in the steering wheel. There we go. Okay, I just positioned it a little bit better. That should not happen again. And you know what? Part of the problem of not driving from inside the cab is you get the, well, yeah, you also go forward when you're supposed to go backwards. But you get the, it's really easy to turn wrong, especially if you drive in real life because the perspective is all backwards. Anyway, we'll back into here, straighten things out, and I guess we can turn off the flashers. We don't really need those anymore. I did not mean to press E. Let's jump over the tongue and sell our beautiful AgroLiner trailer. We'll be using the Marston pack over on the West Coast map, which is also designed by Bullet Bill. I think that's pretty fitting. We'll be using at least one of those trailers, and then there's another one that I'm working on for the MR mod conversion that I have bought, and we will have that as well. So, here we go. These two guys are going to the West Coast, Bessie and Fritz. While we do that, let's look at our total. Our total is $429,324. So let's pay off all the loan first. Let's repay. And we'll hopefully be able to pay it all off. So we won't have any loan over there. I'll have to update my spreadsheet with these new values. They were a little off because I forgot to calculate them after selling Bessie, or after selling Evelyn and the trailer. So let's save right now. So we are 49,342 and 0 loan. So let's go into our spreadsheet there. Let's zoom in a little bit more just so you guys can see. So right there, starting cash for Le Bout Du Monde. We have 10, 5. I said that. I calculated that. So I'll come back to that in a minute. So we had, oh boy, and of course I forgot by now. We have 49,324. 49,324. 49,324. So, and we have 0 in loan. Okay, so I calculated, like I said, I calculated those before selling Evelyn and the trailer. So now, I have already basically prepped the vehicles on the West Coast map. I think they are almost all set up, and that is the expense cost for vehicles on the West Coast. This is our current cash that we have. This is the cash we got from Fields, and then the bales and the silage. So yeah, like I said, I came up with like 10 billion in Fields before in the last video, and that was obviously wrong. So, you know, a lot of that equity, you started off the map with Le Bout Du Monde with actually quite a few fields. I did buy a lot, but a lot of that value came from what we started off the map with. So we're taking some of that cash with us over to the West Coast. We have roughly $1 million to be able to spend on fields and livestock on the West Coast. And you might see I revised this a little bit since the last video. I tell you, I spent probably like 3 or 4 hours. Granted, I was on the night shift. I was a little bit tired, so that might have some of it. But I spent like 3 or 4 hours on the night shift just trying to figure out what I wanted the spreadsheet to do. And I overthink things. Like I've already said, that's another story. I'll tell you why the Navy ruined me and why I think about things too much. But anyway, it took me a while to figure out what I wanted from this spreadsheet. And what I really want is I want to know at the end of the year, do I have more equity than the last year, right? Because farms in real life are always in debt, and you always have debt, right? And so the only way you could really measure whether or not it was a good year or a bad year, or whether you're sinking further in the hole and need to change something, sell off more equipment, downsize or get more land, something, whether you need to do something is based on your debt to equity ratio. And so that's what I really wanted to figure out. So this one is not in bold because it's not a real year. We're not going to have all of this data from year 0, I'm calling it, on Bout Du Monde. We're going to be switching over to at the same time in the West Coast, so it's going to be late autumn. Well, we'll say it'll be the start of winter on the West Coast when we get there. Maybe late autumn. Yeah, maybe late. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. It might be a day or two for the vehicles to get there. And maybe I'll say it starts in spring because that's how long it would take the vehicles. I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. But yeah, so we're not going to have all this stuff from, well, we could figure out that stuff, but we're not going to have income and expenses, right? Because those are pulled from here on this spreadsheet for year 0, but we don't have a year 0. We weren't tracking all of these for year 0, but we'll do that for year 1 on the West Coast. That's why it's in bold. And in case you didn't see, I'm starting my brother off with a salary of $60,000. I will not be doing hired help, but I will be using Courseplay. I will not be paying the insane wage on Courseplay. Since I'm using MR and hard, the income is realistic. So I feel like if I have realistic wage payment, that would also be realistic. So I've broken that out, and then I have a little reminder over there that I actually have to subtract this, in the XML file at the end of the year. Otherwise, it won't magically take it out just because I put it on the spreadsheet. But, so it simulates me paying him every month, but to make it easy on myself, I'm only subtracting it at the end of the year. But anyway, we'll be able to check out all of our expenses for the entire year, and then they'll automatically get imported into here, income and expenses. So then at the end of the year, all we have to do is put down our loan, we'll put down our cash, we'll put down the value of our livestock, we'll put down the value of the land, and we'll put down the value of equipment. So right now, before I forget, we're going to say that we bring in, would that be 29,324? Because we did say for every vehicle, it would cost $10,000 to ship the vehicle to overseas. So that is what we're going to do now. We are shipping overseas, and we need to get these vehicles out of here. So let's load them on a low loader, and hopefully everything will be able to fit. Let's say the low loader semi-trailer is blue. And we will, I might have wanted to lease that instead. I'm not actually buying this. I'm just simulating this part. And, this is part of the, whatever. This is part of the simulation. This is actually part of the $10,000 per vehicle. I am paying this company to ship off the vehicles. So this is not my equipment. This is the shipping company's equipment, and this is the shipping company semi driver, of course, driving his own semi. This is not me. I just have a drone here that I am using for watching him drive around here. So yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so let's do right there, I guess, and we'll pull him forward. Okay, so we'll turn him off. I don't know. I don't think Can we make it work? Yeah, this would not happen in real life. In real life, these would be shipped on separate trailers. But we're going to pretend that this trailer can support both of them, okay? We're just going to pretend that. Come on, get up there, Fritz. I know you can do it. Oh, no. Once you lose that momentum, it's over. There we go. We did it. Okay. Fritz is secure. He is strapped down, ready to go. We're going to load on Bessie. And this is kind of fitting. The sun's going down and it is raining. This is just like all kinds of metaphors and symbolism and whatever type of literary device you want to call it for leaving this map. But it is pretty perfect. Well, assuming we can fit everything on. Oh boy. Bessie. Oh no, Bessie's not going to fit, guys. Let's make sure we are on the very middle right there. I think. Really? Does this trailer not fit a combine? I don't think this trailer fits a combine, guys. That's kind of ridiculous. Okay, well. Let's pretend that it does. Let's pretend that Bessie is securely on there. This is all just for show anyway. It is not, you know, obviously I'm not the shipping company, and obviously they would do things a little bit more professional because they're professional shippers. But for now, let's just say that that is good. And here we go. We are watching the shipping company depart Bout Du Monde for a port. We'll say that this is somewhere on the northern coast of France, and he is going to be driving to a port, and he's going to be shipping these vehicles to the west coast. Okay, here we go. We are almost... Yeah, I didn't take a wide turn. Okay. Oh, well, I also don't have those on. That might be a problem. There we go. There we go. Okay, here we go. We're doing it now. We are... There we go. No, something I got to figure out. With my system, I should not be having any lag at all. But even when I'm not recording the game... Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this is why a professional shipping company does this, not Joe Blow Farmer. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So, this is... yeah. Just simulate it. Visualize it in your head, what's really happening here. Oh, goodness. Oh, boy. This could be ugly. Let's just not look behind us. And hope everything made it. Okay, if you don't see it hit the wall, it didn't happen, right? Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna say that we made it safely to port, and this disaster never ever happened. A shipping contractor came and took everything to the port off screen. So that is what happened. Yeah. Okay. In case you are wondering how this works and you don't have any modding experience, if you look in your save game folder, right? I'm using save game 1 for Bout Du Monde. Under vehicles, you'll find... Oh, wow, that is way zoomed in. Oh, that's right. I had it zoomed in for my tutorial. But I am using those vehicles, right, for... Where is the man? Yeah, so the man and... Yeah, so those are not part of my vehicles. But in case you really want to transport or take a vehicle with you from one map to another, all you have to do is make sure you have the /vehicle tag captured. Otherwise, if you only give this part of it, unless you manually enter that slash vehicle, you will get an error and your vehicles will not load. But if you want to transport vehicles from one map to another and you want to gather the actual run hours and the dirt and the fuel levels and really everything about that vehicle without having to manually, put in all of those other values, all you have to do is copy and then go into where you have the other vehicles. So I'm using save game 3. And then at the very end, I'll put the vehicles. And yeah, so slash vehicle. And if we do, whoops, don't want that. If we do that, and then we change those numbers, it actually reassigns these numbers at the end when you save it. But just to avoid any problems, I like to do it manually. So that's also why I put it at the end of the file, because there's all your vehicles. So in case you're unfamiliar with this, it has all of your vehicles first, and then it gives you everything else on the map, like all of the animated objects and whether or not what parts are attached to what, and your cows and the fill levels of all your cows. So that is what that is. Anyway, so let's save that, and now we will just open up the West Coast map. And if you actually look at the script for resetting vehicles, if the vehicle starts in a weird place, it basically resets it for you. So these I would imagine, would end up reset at the store. But if they are not reset at the store, then we can reset them manually. Anyway, I don't know if I'll show that part, but that's just a little tidbit. I think there's a port. If there's not a port in here, I'll just say that they're starting at the store. So anyway, that will just about cover it for this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, we'll be on the West Coast next time you see me. I hope. Which, I don't know. We might miss Friday's episode or not. That just depends if the West Coast is released to us yet. But that remains to be seen. I'll catch you guys later.